Hi, everybody. I'm Chantal Yashova,
Hello, everyone. I'm Sean Ashragi.
and we're presenting today on averting future vaccine injustice. Both rapid innovation and equitable access to vaccines are necessary to protect the world from viral pandemics, such as COVID-19. Today, however, we face gross inequities in global access to COVID-19 vaccines.
As high-income countries, such as the United States and European countries, have secured a majority of the world's vaccine supply, more than twice the volumes needed to cover their own respective populations, many low-income countries have barely begun the immunization process.
It will take political courage to end such vaccine injustice now and political vision to negotiate the binding international rules needed to avert similar inequities in the future. In the immediate term, countries that share vaccines with those facing shortages can save the lives of frontline workers and vulnerable groups, helping to end the pandemic and reducing the risk of emergence of new and dangerous variants, while generating an additional $9 trillion for the global economy with trade, travel, and work fully restored everywhere.
At the same time, governments need to boost and diversify vaccine production capacity to Latin America, Africa, and Asia by transferring technology and ensuring that intellectual property, also known as IP, protections such as patents do not pose legal barriers to manufacturing.
The global supply of COVID vaccines is currently insufficient and uncertain. Restrictions on exports of both raw materials and finished vaccines from key vaccine producing regions, including the United States, Europe, and India, have exacerbated shortages worldwide and highlighted the risks of relying on just a few manufacturers.
To increase both the volume and the security of the supply, more than 100 countries have called for the temporary suspension of international IP rules on COVID-19 countermeasures, including vaccines, drugs, diagnostics, and other medical equipment.
Such a suspension would strengthen legal certainty for producers, allowing them to start manufacturing quickly, and expand scientists' freedom to develop better, more appropriately adapted vaccines.
Expanded production may take months to bear fruit, but will be worthwhile given the likelihood that SARS-CoV-2 will be circulating for years to come. In the medium time, governments can negotiate international rules for access to countermeasures in future pandemics and invest in the scientific and industrial capacity that gives such rules teeth.
At the World Health Assembly meeting in May, member countries agreed to lay the groundwork for a potential pandemic treaty. Access to countermeasures is among the thorniest issues to untangle, but evidence from COVID-19 vaccines clarifies what a treaty must do.
First, we believe that governments should legally commit to increasing long-term public investment in both research and technology development, and should condition those investments on global public interest safeguards such as contract transparency and open sharing of data, know-how, and IP.
COVID-19 has demonstrated that decades of publicly funded basic research, $17.2 billion between the years 2000 and 2019 from the US National Institutes of Health alone, was necessary for and effective at building the scientific foundation on which vaccines could be rapidly developed.
This pandemic has also illustrated the importance of large-scale public investment for rapid product development. Starting in early 2020, dozens of governments individually and jointly through the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, or the CEPI, infused approximately $5.6 billion of upfront funding into academic and private sector vaccine research and development, also known as R&D.
Governments also reduced the financial risk for vaccine producers by committing, even before vaccines had obtained regulatory approval, to purchase more than $45 billion worth of these products. Such large-scale public funding is necessary for pathogens with pandemic potential, since market returns are highly uncertain at early stages, and yet hesitation to invest can be fatal.
Nevertheless, it is past time to renegotiate society's contract with the pharmaceutical industry for combating pandemics. If taxpayers bear the lion's share of risks and costs, private companies should price the resulting products affordably and openly share the data, technology, and know-how that have been subsidized.
Open knowledge sharing accelerates innovation by allowing scientists to build rapidly on each other's research, helps manufacturers meet global demand, and enables regulators to assess products more quickly, all critical factors in emergencies.
Thank you everyone for your time.
We'll be back shortly to continue the presentation.